Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to the channel, Leo. This is your September 2021 soul story. I hope this finds you well. This is a general reading for your sun, rising and moon, and hopefully the insights and messages might just give you a little bit of extra insight on the best way to navigate through the next few weeks. So we're opening up Virgo energy in September for you with the world. Beautiful, expansive, and a sense of things coming to a beautiful point of completion. I believe that this is going to be a month for you where you are going to start to reclaim things, reclaiming your voice, reclaiming your sense of control, reclaiming your direction even. And perhaps that there is an acknowledgement or an acceptance of what has naturally come to a point of closure or a point of something like being finished, and it's almost giving you that space, giving you that time to kind of recalibrate and reset. There's a structure that comes in with Virgo season that's going to be really conducive to allowing you to start to be a little bit more resourceful and overcome, some of the barriers that I think have gotten in the way in the last few weeks and months in terms of you achieving or setting your sights on something that's really important to your own personal well-being. It's a time where the fine-tuning is going to really matter, and I think that energy of the world is going to be your guiding light all the way through September, wanting to keep you in the more optimistic outlook in terms of how you are perceiving what is happening around you. Now, I have a sense that there's going to be a little bit of a mixture of things that feel very quiet and subtle, and at the same time very loud in your face, like you literally just have that spiritual slap that wakes you up, And sometimes when we ask for signs from spirit, they can literally come through as like a whisper, almost blink and you miss it. And other times it's like this glaring neon, cannot miss it, in the middle of the road, stop you dead in your tracks kind of a moment. And often it's it's coming in unexpectedly, and so there's this aspect of September kind of delivering both of these energy vibes for you, so that at times you kind of don't know whether you're coming or going, but you're certainly getting the guidance all of the time. But it's almost this continuous sort of pattern interruption that's happening. And in a weird way, I feel like that's actually the thing that's going to help you to sort of ground and get more of a sense of structure, because what you're going to have to do in order to be able to sort of be open to hear whatever volume, whatever level the volume is at, is to kind of find that midpoint and that really rooted, awakened state of presence, not clinging to anything. This is where you're going to really recognize where you've been on autopilot as well. Your mind is your mirror right now, and there's this sense of intimacy that I have coming in with the beautiful earth medicine that Virgo can give us, because we're really illuminating that second house of value, and we're wanting to kind of put new things in place to support the ways in which we've changed, and how that beautiful sun coming through your first house during Leo season really awakened you to some new ideas and inspirations and how you saw yourself. So your Prince of Cups, your Knight of Cups energy coming in here with a beautiful offer, with some sort of proposal. Now there's a sense of sort of almost romance and whimsical nature to this beautiful depiction of the Knight here. And so I feel like this is something that I want to entertain, I want to open myself up to. Now, yes, for some of you it might be coming in on more of a sense of the romantic proposal, but for many of you this is just about reawakening to something that you really love and that maybe got lost or discarded or has been dismissed for a little while because your head hasn't been in the game, or you had to put your priorities and your energies elsewhere. And this is a time where the fine-tuning is really making a big difference. It's going to start to pay huge dividends in terms of how much space you'll be able to create for yourself. And it's about recognizing that you need to take care of your own light, whatever that looks like and however that feels to you, because that's the kind of creative muse that helps to bring these opportunities to your door. And there's a sense of these increasing sliding door moments happening from September onwards through the rest of the year. And it's like they're here and then they're gone, So you really want to be in that kind of energy state where you're going to be in a position to say yes to things. And it's such a soulful kind of deep energy through Virgo season, as you're really coming to terms, Leo, with your deservedness to receive. There's a big sort of emphasis, I think, in terms of what you're going to be experiencing, in terms of some of the communication and the connection with people in your life, and how you're feeling drawn to certain things, what's happening for you in terms of your career and professionally, and how that might be reflecting back to you the way in which you value yourself. Now, your Six of Wands is indicating here that there's a beautiful opportunity to have this recognition and success. You've got the World, the Knight of Cups, Six of Wands. These are beautiful optimistic energies guiding you forward. These horses are on the move here. You're on the move, Leo. I want you to recognize that. And if you feel still that sense of stagnancy, or that there are things in your life that feel that somehow they are creating that brick wall in front of you, this is a time where your mind is your mirror, that you're really getting to grips with, why is this showing up in this way? And how can I elevate and kind of leapfrog almost over this wall? Because you do have the capacity to do that energetically. And that's where it needs to begin, because September is this kind of reset month, Virgo is giving us the focus and the structure to do that. And, excuse me, the resourcefulness to help you kind of dig deep into your own life experiences and to also look around you. We're going to be coming into Mercury retrograde season. And from the 7th of the month, we'll be in shadow. So that means that people from the past are going to be coming back. Now, yes, we all know some of the things that, are not so fun about the retrograde season, but let's look at the blessings. You may have people coming back in that can really help you, that are really going to give you that sense of recognition, helping you to take something public. I feel that there's announcements that are going to be made. For some of you, there may be engagement announcements or announcements of new partnerships or commitments forming that feel really exciting. You may be revisiting things that you'd fallen out of love with previously, and all of a sudden you breathe life back into them, and they're the very thing that gives you the opportunity to take everything forward. Now, we've got a new moon in the sign of Virgo coming in on the 6th of the month, and the energy is beautiful. Sun is going to be trining with Uranus, Mars is trining with Pluto, and Venus is trining with Jupiter. So this is a perfect time to launch anything or put news or information out there, or just to recommit in some way. And I especially feel that at the beginning of September, that's the time you're going to want to do that, okay? Your Four of Cups here is, I suppose it's one of those quiet moments, isn't it? And you're going to feel that contrast pretty clearly all the way through September. So get on board with it and don't beat yourself up about it. So if you slip into that kind of feeling slightly disconnected or displaced, if you start to feel like you're losing the heart for something, if you start to feel even bored by the mundane routine of what it's going to take to kind of move something forward, or even if you're tired of hearing what somebody repeatedly has to say and then they're not backing it up, because I have a sense with this as well, I'm sort of actions and words is kind of coming to mind here. But this Four of Cups has something important to show us, because in that state of being, in that state of mind, we can hear the whisper. The glaring neon sign might be not so available to us in the context of the Four of Cups, but absolutely what is there is that kind of quiet, slightly melancholy state that allows us to just slip into something that feels quite meditative. And sometimes our guides can really connect with us at a deeper heart level in that sense. And that's where we can also discover perhaps where we have been on autopilot and we're maybe feeling a little bit burnt out or a little bit jaded in certain aspects of our life. And this is where we talk about the adjustments and the fine-tuning then coming to being. So this is like a temporary vibe, but it might kind of pepper your experience all through the month of September. So just keep an eye out for that. Now, the other thing that's coming up pretty strong for the month of September in all of the soul stories is energy contradiction. I feel like we're all going to be really shown very clearly from our guides where this is happening for us. So where you say you want something, where you are kind of applying your energy, putting things into motion, and then on a day-to-day basis, finding yourself slipping into kind of mindless, reckless, or lazy sort of mindset, or even just allowing other people to dictate your path. And so you're ending up doing the complete opposite energetically of the thing that's going to be required to manifest what you say you want. Yeah, so not always easy to be kind of shown that really clearly. The universe has a way of doing it sometimes that kind of stops us in our tracks, but it will be really helpful. This is about you recognizing how safe you feel within your own skin, Leo, how certain and true you are to your deservedness to have what it is that you want. And I've said this in a few of the different readings, and it's pertinent here too, because in Virgo season especially, the ground is really is rich and nutritious and fertile, you know, to harvest things and to also continue to tend and deliver that earth medicine. If you don't decide what you're going to do with that earth, somebody else is going to. So the environmentals around you, you know, direct reflection of how much care you're taking within you. So be proactive with it and make sure you mold and craft that energy to be what you need it to be. Now, your Six of Cups is showing me you're looking back, awash with nostalgia. And again, that Four of Cups vibe, it's like one of those sort of lazy, languid vibes. It's a little bit, you know, reminiscent, I think, of comfort zones and sort of aspects of you going into memories that feel like a little bit of a default setting. Do they have something to teach you? Yes, possibly there's something of value there. As we return, we experience how much we've grown, but also just be aware that staying there or hanging out there for too long, or kind of observing or witnessing or viewing something from a little bit of a skewed perspective, especially with retrograde energy making things feel a little bit more misconstrued, isn't going to be as advantageous as it could, as if you really apply the sense of sort of intentional, deliberate tending. And it doesn't have to be like wild, big kind of energy. You know, you enjoyed that during your kind of solar return season, Leo. This is a time to kind of knuckle down and start to put things in place that are going to support some of those big goals with souls that we talked about last month. Your Six of Cups, of course, as well, is also a reminder to kind of cherish those parts of yourself, those parts of your journey and your experience, and perhaps looking back at your own, you know, childhood, even the way in which you've changed, and kind of linking the dots and kind of creating this really powerful thread that sort of carried you through. I suppose understanding what has given you the sense of resiliency, what has given you that fight, that courage, that heart. Sometimes we put so much pressure on our heart, you know, to not break, to not falter, and we need the release sometimes. And I think it's important through this month, because we're going to be inviting in the equinox coming in on the 22nd, and just ahead of that, a full moon in very emotional Piscean energy. It's going to be opposing Mars, and so it will be quite a tempestuous, difficult, you know, heightened, sensitive time, but at the same token, it's going to let you release something from the heart space. And there's something really deeply soulful about that as well. And sacred, I want to say. Now, remember, equinox energies, it also can kind of cause a bit of disruption to our energy. You know, they're recalibrating us in some way. And we need that. You know, we need to have these reset moments. And it helps us to kind of really garner what's ready to let go of, and what it's going to take to create the right environment for us to sort of move forward. Now, your Queen of Wands, beautiful energy coming in here. There's a powerful fire blazing in the background. So something that you're thinking about or that you're feeling through the course of September is literally on fire. Now, it's creating smoke. So those smoke signals are traveling quite far. So people are going to become aware of what you feel, of what you're doing, of what you're saying, even without you having to actually communicate. But you look in a assertive, affirmative stance in this particular depiction of the Queen of Wands. You're very clear with that sense of focus, but she's also very relaxed in her energy. So, you know, this is a time where we really want you to have courage of your conviction and be confident. And so even if the sign has been a whisper, it doesn't carry any less weight than when it was a glaring neon sign. It's just the way that Spirit are choosing to connect to your energy at that moment, because it's the way in which your body needs to receive it, your mind or your own energy field, okay? So when we are in or around that full moon, we also have Vesta, the asteroid goddess, moving into the sign of Scorpio right through till November. Vesta, of course, is the custodian of that inner flame, and here you have it burning really brightly. Now, in Scorpio, she's able to dive deeply into the shadow aspect of things to unearth the truth, you know, from an achingly direct perspective, yeah? And really wants to kind of find out where she feels at home, where she can bond, where she can kind of root in her loyalty. And suppose you're kind of unearthing that in terms of the way in which you are feeling, how you are thinking, because remember, as we come into Libra season, it's that third house activation. So making more immediate plans, but kind of really dealing with what's directly in front of you and having some of those difficult conversations with people. Now, your Five of Pentacles may indicate that there have been experiences that you've had or are set to through the course of this month that leave you in a little bit of a scarcity mindset. You know, there's a little bit of hardship that is being thrown up. But this is here as a kind of reminder of where you may have gotten off track, where there's been this energy contradiction. Vesta and Scorpio is going to help you to work through that and acknowledge some of the more difficult, you know, reasons why you might still be allowing this or perpetuating this story. If you want to learn any more about the asteroid goddess in relation to your own personal natal chart, I've got a new report that you might like to check out over on my website. I've put the link for that in the description underneath. So the Five of Pentacles is showing me here that there's also this sense of a freedom that you want is kind of escaped you. You know, you feel bound and a little bit kind of left out in some regards. And so again, during that quiet time where perhaps you are restricted in some way where you would rather not be, there's something really valuable in that moment that you can experience for yourself. And it's going to be about an adjustment or a change that you make, either in terms of how you're thinking or literally the structure or the bones of something. You know, there's a plan that's getting altered. And it's in that time where that alteration is made that you are going to literally see dividends of that paying off enormously over the coming weeks and months. So I don't want you to feel stressed out if there comes to a point through the month where you literally feel held back or bound or in some way like not able to participate or engage, or you know, you haven't been brought into something that you were expecting to, because there's just something that's been literally gifted to you from spirit to say, no, we need you over here because what you're about to do is way, way, way more valuable. So that's how I want you to interpret this energy, you know. So there will be times where things can get loud again and things can be more connected and open up in many ways. But if you have those quiet moments, please embrace them, because, you know, something's changing on a powerful level. Now, your Eight of Cups shows that there's a need to release and let go. Now, the trajectory here is quite steep, right? So I do think that the test or the challenge that you go through in September is asking a lot of you, in fairness. I think it's asking a lot of you. I think it's really going to test your mettle in some way. But, you know, it's in your emotional resiliency and in your mental capacity to kind of know this is the right thing. This is the right thing for me at this moment in time. Given everything that I know, given the environment that I'm in, with where I'm at personally in my journey, this is where I need to be. And so the journey that you take, even though it may feel challenging and slightly exhausting, at the same time this water is running so rapidly, like the movement is very fast. So this is not like something that I feel is long and drawn out. You know, I think this decision, once it's made, happens, and then overnight things are going to start to change instantly as a result of what you've been able to release or let go of. Okay, now all of these cups still stand, which means that all of the experiences and the memories that are attached to what you may be releasing or walking away from still have as much relevance and resonance and importance in your life because of how they've helped you to become the version of you that you are, you know. So we don't need to kind of clear out something to the degree as if it had never happened or never been a part of our journey, regardless of how difficult it may have been or what it actually resulted in. Now, for some of you, you may well find somebody, you know, walking away from you, and you may be on the receiving end of that. Again, if there's a quietness and energy in connection to that, however it's coming in, professionally, romantically, in friendship, any area in terms of personal connections for you, Leo, again, you know, spend time to look back and review. Of course, there's always something to be gained from that, but at the same time, look at these guides coming in that's saying, listen, this is the time that something really positive and poignant is here and ready for you. You're having now the chance to reclaim something for yourself, What are you going to do with that earth energy that surrounds you? Because maybe you've been on autopilot in this situation because that's how it's always been, and now you've got the chance to be free from that and liberated from something. So, you are interpreting and understanding your own sacred value through Virgo season. And then as we come into Libra season, you are communicating that value and making plans that start to really embody and address it in a way that clearly shows the rest of the world, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at, throwing my arrow into the air to demonstrate to people, just like that fire with the smoke signals. You are sending a message out to the universe, literally, which means that vibrationally speaking, we need to get these contradictions dealt with so that you are going to get what you want and what you're asking for. But people are also hearing and seeing what is going on for you. And this is almost for me like you've honed this, he's throwing that wand with an accuracy. He knows exactly where he's putting it and exactly where it's going to land. So this is something that you have thought about over and over again. There isn't like a sense of just irrationality about this. This is a very clear, considered choice that you're making in terms of that news and information going out there, okay? At the same token, I feel things coming towards you, news and information that will help you to decide, to clarify, to validate what your position is and what that looks like for you moving forward. Now, remember what I said about this idea of like sliding doors moments happening and them increasing more and more and more. And we're going to start to realize that. But what's important is that we are ourselves in a place where we see, okay, I feel ready enough and prepared enough to be able to take it. Now your Queen of Wands, Six of Wands is suggesting to me, yes, you are. But you're still going to have to go on that journey to get yourself prepared for it. That's why we talk so much about preparation through August, So that big full moon release round Pisces, I think you're going to be releasing a lot of emotional baggage and heavy weight, either in limiting beliefs, literally in aspects of relationships or things that have gone on. And then sort of reigniting something in terms of your hopes and dreams and desires. And then really being able to, with that equinox, kind of make space and allow that shift to take place in your life. So let's take a look and see how these oracle cards want to join the conversation for you, Leo. Cosmic Gateway. Okay, insecurities, connection with others, refocusing. Well, this is what we talked about. You really have the opportunity to refocus and make a big difference in your world because of that. And maybe the connection with others is what's causing the insecurity. Who or what do you need to let go or release in order to put yourself in a position where you can start to open up to a better quality of energy that surrounds you and that is a part of your world. The insecurities are interesting because I feel like it is a direct reflection of where you have spent too much time outside of your own empowered solar plexus energy, so it's a direct invitation to get back in there, call all your energy back in. When you come from that rooted stance, the insecurities may still be there, but they're much softer. The volume has been turned right down on them, and so we want to turn the volume up on the things that are working and the things that are going well for you and where you find yourself now and where you really are expanding and changing and evolving, and that's really beautiful. The connection with others this month is important, especially as we go through Libra season, because what we're seeing is perhaps even the reconnection with people who you have previously come into contact with can be so valuable. All of a sudden their advice or their introductions or, what transpired between you might land in a new way, might make sense in a way that you can really appreciate and kind of take on board now. And again, that's part of the really important change that I see coming through for you. But this idea of a gateway happening, is so important because it's about you being able to allow this rise in consciousness that's happening, allow the kind of upgrade that's taking place in your energy field. Know that that's going to directly mean that you have to walk away. Know that there's going to be times when you have to sit quietly and just kind of let all the tough, murky stuff kind of wash through you, but at the same time not let it define you. So your astrology card is the moon. Satisfy emotional needs, nurture the self and others. Well, of course, that Piscean moon with that extra water, and the final signs of Pisces, extra mutable. So remember, the other thing about September is going to be very changeable in terms of people's minds. And so we want to have enough space, and we want to have enough opportunity to not be attached to anything that anyone says or does, so that we are not therefore held to ransom in terms of whatever their behaviour or changing behaviour or inconsistency might be. And that goes for yourself as well. You know, you need to give yourself permission to change your mind as many times as it takes. And that moon may well reveal more information for you that is pertinent. And so again, you don't want to overcommit yourself too soon in the month, because you're going to be constantly sort of allowing that fine-tuning aspect to take place. But how you go about serving your own emotional needs this month is so important. How are you going to take care of your light, Leo? You know, things that you put into place this month should, over time, start to become a much more permanent aspect of your life's routines, and that's important. So your crystal energy is the moonstone. Okay, it's a really strong emphasis with working with the moon, transcendence, crown chakra. Very, very kind of clear message that's coming through here. Moonstone, of course, working with that beautiful divine feminine energy, helping with you, intuition, kind of awakening and really trusting in yourself. So whether it is a whisper or a roar, you are literally as committed and on board to allowing that change to take place so that you can transcend the limitations and let go. You know, it's just a continuing theme of just giving yourself permission to let go. So this is a general reading for September, Leo. If you would like to join me for the extended version, I'm going to go ahead and pull us some additional cards just to clarify this out, and invite you to just think about a question that I might not have covered in the main spread right here, and we'll pull a couple of cards for that specifically. You can find the link for this in the description box and the comment section underneath. It's just a way to support the work that I do as well, and I'm really grateful for those of you that it resonates with and that decide to join me. Okay, so let's begin with this world energy. See where it takes us. Okay, we have the Hermit, beautiful. Sage wisdom coming in, of course, linking into the sign of Virgo as well with the Hermit. And Death, so 3 really strong major arcana cards coming through there. And the Queen of Pentacles. You know, the way in which you're going to be using your resources, you know, your time, your money, your energy, really matters this month. You're putting like a new energetic like blueprint in place for yourself, I feel. And then you're going to be working to strengthen that over the coming weeks and months. And it's going to make you much more impenetrable, which is important so that you can protect that inner light, you know. Some interesting people showing up here. There's that temptation. Oh, beautiful Ace energies coming up here. Feeling conflicted about it. I wonder what that's about. Oh, King of Cups, Queen of Wands, nice. I have a sense that 5 of Pentacles, it's also like a decision that's maybe like taken out of your hands a little bit. And you might feel a little bit stuck, but it's kind of temporary. Interesting. You can find all of the decks that I use, by the way, if they are of interest, also in the description box underneath. I know I get asked a lot about that. Ace of Swords, another ace coming through the Lovers. Okay, I'm just going to pull a couple more. Right, Leo, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed your soul story, and I'll see you on the extended if you're joining me there. You take good care. Bye for